Now, another misclassification of words is perfectly encapsulated by the naming of the building that is behind me. It is, of course, the Ministry of Defence. Now, I think it's possibly a mistake to have a Ministry of Defence because it means that the whole of the government is working on its back foot. It's consistently working defensively. It used to be called the War Office, which seemed to make a lot more sense. I mean, it did what it said on the tin, and it went around creating wars. During the Cold War, they changed the name to the Ministry of Defence, and ever since the government has been acting very, very defensively. Now, the problem with this is that there's always some bright spark. If you're thinking defensively, there's always some bright spark who's going to come along and say, "Hey, listen, you know, why don't we act offensively? Because obviously offence is the best form of defence." But then you see it would be called the Ministry of Offence, which I think is even worse, you see. So what my plan is, ladies and gentlemen, is I would like to call it, if the other thing is, why is it called a ministry? I mean, do people pray here? They pray to defence? Anyway, that's another subject. But ladies and gentlemen, my plan is that I want to call this the Ministry for Peace. The Ministry for Peace. In fact, that is such a good idea. I am surprised that no one's come up with it. I'm surprised that we don't already have a Ministry of Peace. It's just basic common sense, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll give over all of the defensive things to the peace things. You see, because at the moment what we have is a well-oiled killing machine. Wouldn't it be great, friends, if we had a well-oiled piecing machine? You know, the other thing as well is that what I've been hearing is that Cuba, during the Ebola scare, has been sending doctors to various countries to cure people of Ebola. Well, I think this is a vastly competitive move that we should be. I mean, we're supposed to have the best health service in the world. You know, so I mean, how can they just send doctors and us not send doctors? In fact, I say let's go one step ahead of them and send dentists as well. In fact, we could even send opticians. I think that, and what I'm suggesting is that we get into a peace race with Cuba. In fact, we get into a peace race with anyone who's causing peace around the world. And I think that would be a really great idea.
Welcome to this week's edition of World Crisis Radio. This is Webster Tarpley speaking to you from Washington, D.C. A series of big events coming now just in the last day or two. We will be talking on the domestic front about the fact that according to the International Monetary Fund, China has definitively passed the United States as the world's biggest economy. According to the so-called PPP price standard, China has now passed the U.S., and that is a strategic earthquake. And my answer to that is, don't let it stand. Give them a run for their money. It's called a peace race. Launch a peace race of production, science, engineering, progress, standards of living, and we'll see who will dominate the economy of the world.